Hello, it's your favorite 8th grade math teacher. I'm here to show you how to use IXL math to solve systems of equations by graphing. So here's the first example we're going to look at. It says solve the system of equations by graphing. First graph the equations, then type the solution. So it looks like here's my system. My two equations are y equals 1/4 x minus 2 and y equals 1/2 x minus 1. And it says click to select points on the graph, so it looks like I'll be graphing in this region. As you can see when I move the mouse, the dotted circle moves around. That's indicating where I would place points. Below the graph, I have y equals 1/4 x minus 2 in gold. So I'll be graphing that line in gold, and I have y equals 1/2 x minus 1 in blue. So that line will show up in blue. And then it says the solution is, and it has an ordered pair ready to go, so I can type in an x and a y. So let's start by graphing y equals 1/4 x minus 2. This is already in slope-intercept form. Remember, that's y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept. So if I wanted to start by putting a point on the y-intercept, that is when x is 0 and y is -2. So I'll put my cursor over that and click, and a yellow dot shows up. The next step then would be to graph the slope, which is 1/4. So that means I'm rising 1 and running 4, or my change in y is 1 and my change in x is 4. So you can see as soon as I start moving the point on the graph, a line is showing up. So if I change y by 1 and change x by 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a point, that should be the equation of y equals 1/4 x minus 2. Then I can take a look and graph y equals 1/2 x minus 1. So I click that. So I'm now going to be plotting points in blue. The y-intercept is -1, and then my slope is 1/2. So I'm going to rise 1 and run 2, or the change in y is 1 and the change in x is 2. So if I go up 1 and over 1, and let's say I thought I counted 2 and I put a point there and I look at it and go, well, that doesn't look right. If I want to undo the point, I just click it again. So I can recount my slope, up 1 over 2. Place the point, then the line will show up solid, and you can see the solution is here at -4, -3. So I would type that in, -4, -3, and hit submit. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is solve the system of equations by graphing. First graph the equations, then type the solution. So here my system looks a little different. My first equation is y equals 5, and my second equation is x equals -2. So if I wanted to graph this, remember that y equals 5 means that y is always 5. So that's ordered pairs like x is 0, y is 5, x is 1, y is 5, x is 2, y is 5. So if I wanted to graph those points, they're going to show up in blue. So I have 0, 5, 1, 5, and then you can see that 2, 5 is on the line because y is always 5. So I'm going to get a horizontal line. Then if I want to go graph x equals -2, and make sure I select purple this time because that's x equals -2. So that means x is always -2. So y can be anything. So x is -2, y is 0. X is -2, y is 1. X is -2, y is 2. And that'll give me the vertical line. And you can see that the two lines cross at -2, 5. Well, let's say I accidentally type it in wrong, because let's say I read it as -3, 5. And I hit submit. And it tells me that this is incorrect. It gives me what the graph should look like, what the solution actually is, and a step-by-step explanation of how these lines are supposed to be graphed and how to find the solution. Then I can click Got It. And it'll bring up the next problem for me to try. And here's an example where one of the equations is in standard form. So again, the directions are solve this system of equations by graphing. First graph the equations, then type the solution. So my system is x plus 2y equals negative 4 and y equals negative 4. So I'm going to start by graphing these. I'm going to be graphing x plus 2y equals negative 4 in green. So this is in standard form, which means I would have to find the x-intercept and y-intercept to graph this. So if y is 0, then x is negative 4, so that's the point negative 4, 0. And if x is 0, then y is negative 2, so that's the point 0, negative 2. So there's the first line. And then click on the blue so I can graph my second line, which is y equals negative 4. So that means y is always negative 4. And we'll see that the two lines cross at 4, negative 4. And submit. And that is how you use IXL Math to solve systems of equations by graphing. Best of luck to you. Make sure that you have earned 75 points, and then you're going to take a screenshot and email the proof that you earned 75 points to me. Thank you and best of luck.